Welcome, everyone. I'm Linda Backman, and Tracey Ash is here with me. And we want to take a little bit of time to talk to you about our exciting, deep, impactful program in London in June of 2026. I just thought, this is very impromptu, so you're all going to get a sense of it's very impromptu. Um, I'll give you my sense and then let you, Ash, jump in about why did we decide to do this program together? Some of you know Tracy Ash and who I call Ash, and some of you know me, and some of you know both of us. Um, Ash and I have connected over the last few years. We have co-coordinated, co-led two tours to sacred ancient dynastic sites in Egypt, where Ash lives. And it felt like it was time for Ash and me to coordinate a related program to our tours of Egypt, but more expansive and deeper. So I'll just start by saying this program is for people that I would call change makers or thought leaders. When you think about yourself, everybody, be cautious. Some of you may say, I know I'm a change maker, which means you have agreements at the soul level, at the human level to alter, to expand, to evolve, to clean up energy, to clean up, we might say fear, we might say injustice on the planet. But then there are others of you, because I work with many who are like this, and probably Ash does as well, where you might say, I have this deep calling. I know maybe I feel different than a lot of people on the planet, but I know I'm on the planet with purpose. And that doesn't mean you have to be some nameable quantity of you stand on a stage, you're an author, you're a public figure. It does not mean that necessarily. It means you have what you might call new progressive ideas of what's lacking in humanity. And that's why you're in body. We welcome anyone who sees themselves as a change maker. But our program is going to be deep. We're going to make a deep dive into who are you as a soul? Where do you come from? What access to, we might say, a portal of wisdom, um, do you know you have? And you want to expand that? You're here to aid the advancement of humanity. So I could say a whole lot more, but I'm going to hand it over to you, Ash. Talk about the portal that exists where we're going to be in the very, very core heart of London. Why London? Why the wisdom of one of the oldest cities in the world?
So yeah, our expansion and refinement of the work that we have been building in Egypt, of course, and of course, London is an extension of ancient Egypt. So we have foundations and movements such as theosophy, esoteric spiritualism. Of course, at the Women's University, we have the suffragette movement, we have equality of women. So, groundbreaking, pioneering intellectual thought. And obviously, the Stargate portal of London is an extremely important one in terms of new ideas and far-reaching influence. So as a portal, London is particularly, of course, international. It's extreme in its groundedness, its connection with history and spirit that is both creative and intellectual. We're also looking into the St. Michael line. We're looking into the hub of the power sites, ancient sites of the UK as well, to further ground and anchor that new psychology, which Linda's just been describing. So, however we are exploring our new spirituality, what we'll be grounding is and earthing is not only the psychology, but of course the human values that are necessary to transcend any rhetoric of change maker, so that energetically we're primed and initiated, so our efforts and intelligence are far more far reaching. So penetrating any density on the planet, change makers, of course, should be alchemists, should be innovators, creatives, thought leaders. And again, we're looking at how we can transcend convention in any field of endeavor. So, London for me is my own history of training, and at the heart of Mayfair, South Kensington, Kensington, are the institutions that supported my own journey as a young medium. And that takes us into, again, a history of change makers, creatives, intellectuals, artists, etc. But as Linda just described, of course, we are seeking to be change makers no matter what our identity. And how we have an impact, of course, is on trend at the moment, and how we achieve being a change maker is also another on trend topic. And how we do that in the context of community, again, is another on trend topic. So we're really transcending individual and individuals' needs and aesthetics, so that we move into community and humanity values and all of the aesthetics that are needed to create change on the planet and peace on the planet at this time.
Yeah, so there's so many pieces, and this always happens, and I love it when Ash and I get together and we begin to talk. So a couple of things that Ash has just mentioned, which we're doing this spontaneously. Ash and I don't even know what I'm going to say, what she's going to say. Ash, you brought up the suffragette movement. So that gives me an easy entree to just say that this program will include understanding for each of the participants, understanding your what I call soul design. So soul design means what's your soul timeline, or what's your past life history, what led you here. Then we're going to talk about which of the types of souls, what is your soul origin? Are you a soul that has been incarnating on earth over and over and over, and your higher self resides in the spiritual realm tied to earth's frequency? Or are you not a soul that over and over and over you've incarnated on earth? You come from somewhere else in the broad celestial realm. That is what I, Linda, call an interplanetary soul. You could call that a star seed, same term. Or do you come from the angelic realm? And why are you here? How did you make the decision to be here now at this key time on our planet to heal humanity? So, how that ties in, just briefly, with first of all, suffragette, and then I want to just speak a little bit about St. Michael. Um, a lot of people, so you all can tell or know, I'm an American. Ash was raised in UK. Ash lives in Egypt, but was raised in UK. Um, there was a suffragette movement in UK not long before the suffragette movement in the United States. So if you live in the US and you hear the word suffragette, you're probably going to think about the classic suffragette movement that led to the inclusion of women to have the right to vote in the United States. But there was a suffragette movement not long before that in England with the same purpose. And I know a fair amount about my past lives. I had an incarnation in UK. I don't think, Ash, you and I've even talked about this, but I had a past life in UK being active in the UK suffragette movement to gain the right to vote. So we're going to be merging cultures. That's the whole point. We're going to be merging timelines. We're going to be healing timelines and merging cultures. Then just briefly, the connection with Saint Michael, or Archangel Michael, who there is a sacred site in the very south of England dedicated to Saint Michael. Some of you that are going to join us for this program are going to be souls from the angelic realm, and you will have a connection to the soul of the archangels, including Archangel Michael. All this is important in regard to why are you in body? And why are you in body at this very time? What are your contributions? How can you affect? Um, I was using this term yesterday with a client. How can you affect what is needed on the planet that I would call inclusivity as opposed to exclusivity? And we have, in my opinion, far too much exclusivity um, versus inclusivity on our planet. So these are going to be deep 4 days of work together in community. We're going to be doing conscious spoken work. We're going to be doing deep silent work. You're also going to be hearing from Lord Maitreya, the most long-standing earth-based soul that has incarnated on Earth. Ash will also be doing channeling. I often say I'm not channeling, but I suppose comments I make are also channeled comments. So we really want you to think about joining us June 5 through 8, 2026. All the information will be included where you find this video. So let me pause. Ash, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think we both offer a complete a legacy of work, which means we can pioneer much deeper and more experimental work in terms of the innovation that's required psychologically for what comes next. There's, of course, other gateways that we should not forget in terms of exploring, and that is, of course, the quantum field metaphysical dynamics that are a necessary part of initiation and protection, so change makers can build their change in the world as well. And also at the same time to have the quantum field and metaphysics dynamics means that there's deeper purification and reset that comes with our own specific teams of guides and teachers, which are then blended to deliver, again, further pioneering transformation and evolutionary potentials. So the work is advanced rather than being conceptual. I think that's what I'd really like to um, progress in the conversation, because our work obviously in gateways and portals is another specific area of magnification and really capturing a lens. So there's detailed evaluation and there's detailed analysis, but then there's also new sequencing, which for those individuals who are in a loop in terms of perhaps needing to break patterns or refine spiritual practice or refine healing sequencing, then of course the support is available in a much deeper context. And I think that's why the work that we do is so pioneering. Um, so again, what I like to really express is the nature of what we're doing is new, which means that those who attend will be initiated for certain in new ways. And of course, I'm very familiar with London, the UK, the ancient gateways here, which also then it is anchoring each of us into particular portals, but then into our own gateways wherever we are culturally. And that really takes us into being able to influence our own timelines and our own collective and our own cultures. Because of course, every culture and every nation has unique healing contracts and sequences to solve. So I think that's something that I just like to highlight, is getting into very specific analysis of sequencing, whether it's individual or collective, and really coming into a place where the healing work that we do is so concise that we're not just spending time in an event. We're actually spending our time correctly in an event that is specifically a contract of healing and awakening. And so you will be called to this event. It's not an event that will be an invitation that's light in any way. And when I say light, I mean it's not going to be an invitation to an event that is generic in nature. There'll be a serious calling and very, very, very specific healing and awakening sequences that need to be solved and activated. And that's the difference, where you're not just attending an event for big entertainment or a big activation that doesn't go anywhere. The initiations will be very intimate and very individual, and extremely valuable and purposeful. And again, that is accompanied with legacy and with the gateways that we all work with and the connection that each of us have with spirit that really orchestrates and cultivates these contracts of community. And I mean, really ethical community where transparency is not just the dream. I mean, it's the miracle that unlocks very profound change that endeavors and can
Right.
really remove, let's say, or rebuild the old world and remove and rebuild what we may believe is impossible.
Right.
Um, but that's what we're really looking at. And in order to do it, I mean, it has to be metaphysical.
Mhm. Mhm.
And there has to be that metaphysical force and that life force
Mhm.
so that our building is again concise, precise, and hugely intelligent in
Right.
a hugely um, unintelligent world currently. And so our impact is rare, but when we can succeed in that impact, it's felt.
Right.
And that's the difference. Yeah.
So I hope everyone, as you listen and you listen to Ash, that pay attention to this sense of calling, because this will not be light work. It will be, well, it will be light work if we're putting the word light in quotes. Um, so I just want to say, I want all of you to take this in deeply, if you will. Uh, Tap into your portal, your gateway, which is your gateway to your higher self. Ask your higher self, is this an event? Is this a 4-day immersion in what will aid your soul's evolution and the soul of humanity? So reach out, everyone, either to Ash, to me, to my husband Earl with questions. Um, and we hope that many of you who are called to this program, to this immersion in change for you and change for the planet. Um, we look forward to having you be with us to build this community. So we're going to bring our conversation to a close. Let us know what your questions are. And Ash and I are excited from a deep personal soul level to bring this event um, and have it happen in the heart of London in June 2026. Thank you, everyone, for listening, for taking your time to be here with us. And we hope to meet you in London in June. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.